Happy Sunday night, everyone. We are in the house. So, tonight's show is going to be very, very interesting. So, I know y'all been looking for me and a plus one, right? But it's not going to be the plus one you thought. How many of y'all know that things happen sometimes, right? So, my beautiful co-host has turned into a different beautiful co-host, and they'll be coming on to help me have this conversation tonight. So until we let me turn this down. Until we get into this thing, I'm going to entertain you a little bit. I'm going to give some people a chance to jump on here tonight and join in this conversation. So if you noticed, the question is, at what point in a relationship do you talk about the F word? You guys, please forgive me. When I tell you I've been on the road all day today, I wasn't doing wheels up, but more like wheels down. I was driving. I drove over to Tulsa this morning. It's Sunday. And if you guys know Pastor Jamal Dyer in at Friendship Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that is my cousin. His mom is my first cousin, two brothers' daughters, right? And so we grew up like sisters. So it's so funny because I'm calling him cousin when he really feels like a nephew because his mom feels like a sister to me, right? So anyway, I drove up there, and from here up there, Tulsa is only like maybe an hour, 20 hour, 30 minutes, depending on what part of Oklahoma City you live in. So drove up this morning, had church with them and fellowship and ate and had a great time and came back. How many of y'all know I just want to go to sleep right now? However, we got some work to do. We have some conversations that must be had. And I'm giving my my co-host some time to jump on, but I'm going to introduce this show tonight. Where's my folks? Oh, hey, they showing up. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Lonzie, I missed you today, but I understand. We'll connect. Hey, Grace. Who else is on here? You guys say hi, or even if you don't say anything, well, say hi because I can see you. I can see you if you say hi. So I want to kind of introduce this. Oh, there she is. Hey, Grace. That's my amazing Grace. That's what I call her. I'm going to kind of introduce this show tonight. So you guys know Todd. You hear me talk about him all the time. So a lot of times he'll send me videos that are a point of conversation, right? And hey, AJ, Miss Brown. That's another cousin. I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you the good part about leaving. Well, I won't say leaving Atlanta because I love Atlanta. Hey, Miss Dorothy. The good part about being in Oklahoma is I get to see so many cousins and family and friends, and it just feels really, really good. Hey, Miss Banks. So as we have this conversation tonight, Todd had sent me this, I love you too, Grace. Todd had sent me this video, right? And it was you guys, my cousin has shown up, Miss AJ Brown. The conversation was men who don't like to date women who are not fit, like FIT, like maybe they don't spend a lot of time working out or whatever. Thank you, Mary. Mary said my outfit is cute. Girl, this is a halter top, right? People probably like, it's too hot for that. But no, my whole back is out. It's really a halter. So he sent me this video about fit, right? FIT, fit, being fit. And so next Sunday, I will be in Ghana, but I will have y'all know my co-host, Michael Bradley. He comes on a lot with me. He's going to be on with me next week. And we're going to talk about being fit and dating people who are fit and want to date people who are fit, or people who are unfit and don't want to date people who are unfit. So the F word came up on fitness side, right? But how many of you know, hey, Kimberly Fagan, right? Let me tell you something. How many of you know the number one hardest conversation to have with a couple? Sometimes when they're dating and they're getting to know each other, there's a lot of things that are taboo that you don't talk about. And I hate to say it, but sex ain't even one of them. Sex is not one of them. You guys hit the like button. Subscribe to my YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, because I'm showing live right now on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So you guys, if you're watching on any of those platforms and you have not done so, like and share, please, and subscribe. It's free to subscribe. It don't cost you anything on YouTube. So those are, I'm telling you that, and you watch YouTube videos, go find me. Go find Pat Nash and subscribe. It's important to me. So as we're moving on into this, the conversation came up, you guys, and I had some pretty heated messages sent to me, because from the show that I talked about maybe 2 weeks ago, and I made a statement that some of my friends, now listen to what I'm saying to you, some of my friends, and y'all know I'm not afraid to give my own testimony, right? But some of my girlfriends had decided, because of all the hard things and hard times they went through, just like some men don't want to date women who are unfit, especially if they're in the gym and they're really working out and they're like, hey, you don't care enough about yourself to take care of your body. I don't think that we're going to mix good. So maybe I don't want to date someone who's not physically fit. So the sisters have conversations similar sometimes, because we know men are visual creatures, and women have number one concern of a woman is security. Now, security comes in a lot of ways: money, trust, just making sure they feel protected. All of that is a part of security. Men tend to be visual creatures. They tend to see you at face value before they get to know you spiritually and on the inside, before they really get to talk to you, right? So the question came up, at what point in your relationship do you talk about the F word? Again, I'm not talking about sex. I know you thought I was, right? Because you know, I don't mind having the hard conversations if it's going to help somebody, right? So the F word happens to be finances, because I think it's easy sometimes. A lot of times it's easy. Sometimes that's fine. That's fine. Just jump in and I'll get you out. I'm looking at my messages from the producer. Sometimes that conversation about money is one of the hardest things. So the F word I'm talking about tonight is finances, because look who popped in. That's my brother. I started to grab mine when I knew you were going to jump in. I did. I started to grab mine. Unmute yourself.
That's right. There we go. Y'all see it right here. Y'all see it. There it is.
You're going to get me in trouble again. You're going to get me in so much trouble.
About?
Because it's time for us to start the red cup talks. We might as well start talking about it, because we're talking about the F word tonight, but we're not talking about sex.
Yeah, well, you were saying that. I was like, man, what have I gotten myself into?
I know, right?
I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
So no. I was just explaining to everyone, it's sometimes easier. Look, see? Mary just said, how do I get that cup?
Miss Mary, I'm special. I got the first one.
He did. He actually got the first one. So I got you. Trust me, I got you, because we're going to have these talks. And look, Mary going to have to show up. How about that?
Yeah.
So, brother, you can help me with this. I know you got to go, but I'm glad that you dropped in for a moment, because you're a man, so you can kind of give a man's perspective on this. When you're dating a female, when do you think is an appropriate time? Or when you're dating someone? I mean, this could go either way. When do you think it is an appropriate time to talk about the F word? And I'm talking about finances, because we're going to talk about fitness too, but we're talking about finances. Because I had some brothers who were like, is it right that a brother who is physically fit and, you know, maybe he's a personal trainer, that he don't want to date someone who doesn't have that same drive and determination, because it would be frustrating for him? No, because they wouldn't understand where they're coming from. So I said, and my co-host Nicole Washington, that was supposed to be on tonight, she is really deep in finances, but she's under the weather. She's sick. And you guys, I'm just getting over it myself. Hey, Dr. Kyrie, I'm just getting over it myself. So, see, Kim, where's my cup? Now you're supposed to be, you're supposed to be keeping her.
I can't do nothing with Kim. I cannot do nothing with Kim. Like we learned that from our show. I just go with the flow when it comes to her.
So you know, you sound like the producer of this show. She say the same thing. I cannot do nothing with Kim. Kim, this is a bad rap, my sister. That you know, hey. So because if Bernie can't do nothing with you, Kim, I don't know. Now Angee, I mean, you know, hey. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. So at what time or what point in the relationship do you think it's appropriate to talk about finances in a relationship between a woman and a man? She said she won't let it go. She talking about you done kept another secret. Can you tell her we're over here?
Oh
Kim,
my,
if you want to have this conversation, jump in and get
just
on.
jump in. Yeah, man, I see all in the comments. Just
Just
come on to the show.
yeah, she gonna be brave in the comments. Just come on in the
Just come
show.
on to the show.
She can't say she don't have the link because she got it. So anyway, Kyrie's in the shop banking, or she would have jumped in on this. But at what point do you have Grace is like, Bertie, you done started something. But you know what, Bertie, it goes so good with what you got on right now, because that red pops against that. Now, see, if I had it, it would just kind of blend in. But it just pops against that gray and white palette. I'm just saying. And it matches the background here. You're doing this thing. You're doing this thing. So y'all don't understand. Bertie is the idea behind this thing. So it's just only natural. When he would go get his red cup and his popcorn for the conversation,
That's right.
He done gave me an idea, and he gonna be the first one. He gonna be the first one to benefit from it. And Mary's like, I want a cup. I'm gonna need y'all to get on the F word, okay? At what point? So now you're gonna rub it in my face. At what point? Hey, Tynishka. At what point in a relationship do you start to talk? My Aunt Sally is on here. That you start to bring up the F word. You start to bring up finances. At what point?
I think you bring it up when your relationship reaches that point, right? If you got to a relationship to where y'all are at the point to where it's time to discuss finances, like if you're just dating somebody, right? If it's just dating or whatever, and you don't have to mix finances, you don't have to discuss that, then no. But if y'all are serious and you're making plans for the future or whatever, then it's important to talk about finances.
Okay. So you're saying, like I said what I said and I meant it. I do have friends that say they won't even date a guy until they see his credit score, like seriously date him. Like they'll talk to him, but they'll be like, hey, that's like maybe the second outside of, are you married? I mean, are you single, like single, not married and separated, but are you single? The next question is, what do your finances look like? And they don't ask how much money they have. They ask about the credit score, because a lot of us understand if you have a good credit score, a lot of times, I mean, things happen to all of us. I'll be the first one to say it. I've gone up and down. But if you have a good one, the chances are you can go get some money. So it's not about how much money you got. It's about how much money you have access to. So they will ask that question. They don't even care if this man doesn't make as much money as they make, but they want to know, where do you stand in to them that says you're responsible. Now, I know we can have some arguments about that, because even bad things happen to responsible people.
Right.
Okay. Kelly said, or was that Kyrie? Kyrie said it's important for the relationship to move forward. And Kelly said, I feel it's important when the relationship is moving towards the two moving in one together. Like they're going to decide to come together. Like exactly what you just said. When you decide this is my girl or this is my guy, that's an appropriate time to ask those questions. But not necessarily, we're saying not necessarily before you even start dating. It's none of your business. That what we're saying? Is that pretty fair?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you're not in that realm with this person, right, then how much money he's making or his credit score or whatever, I don't think it matters. But if you're getting ready to go and y'all are like building a future together, then that's important.
Yeah.
That is something that you want to check. So look at Kim.
Yeah, Kim. But Kyrie said, girl, way before then, maybe way before his move. See, so she's one of the ladies that might want to have a conversation. And Lonzine said the relationship would have to be pretty serious so that the man doesn't take it the wrong way. Now, I made a comment on that show. And so if y'all go to my Instagram, a lot of my thank you, Ty. She says she's with you. Like, wait till it's serious. A lot of my guys will comment on my Instagram shorts. And so my one of my editors, she pulled that piece that I said, some women won't even date a man unless she knows his credit score, right? So my brother pops in immediately and said, what? What's your credit score? Now he's talking to me. What's your credit score? Mine is over 800. And I had to kind of nicely say, that's none of my business what your credit score is. I'm talking about your girl. I'm not your girl. So that's none of my business. And in the same way, it's none of your business what mine is if we're not in a relationship. I didn't think that was mean. I think I was being kind.
Yeah.
Like, ask me what my credit score is. I'm telling you, I didn't say I do it. I said I have girlfriends that do it. Okay. Kyrie said definitely none of your business if I'm not in your business.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
Right,
not in
man.
my business? If he ain't in
Right,
your
man.
business, it ain't none of your business.
Right.
Mary said it's important that you have someone who has your back. So that will be, I guess that's why it would be a good question to ask. Through good and bad, and stuff does happen. So coming from a man, and I understand if you have to jump off when you do, but coming from a man, and I think a lot of women agree with you, if you're only when you're at a point where you feel like this might be my person and we want to take it to the next level, does another person have the right to ask you how you're doing in that area? Now, should a man ask a woman, or should just a woman know where a man stands? That's one of those things.
Okay, so here we go. that could that could go two ways, right? Like I guess I'm old fashioned in the sense of saying to whereas I believe that a man is supposed to provide anyway. Right? He's supposed to provide for whoever he's with. So that's never been something that I've thought about asking, anybody that I've been with, asking about their credit score, or what we could talk jobs, or just to get to know a person, like what do you do for a living or things like that. But to ask the credit score, I've never done that. But at the same time, right? I mean, we are living in a world where it's equal opportunity. So if it's right for a woman to ask a man, then it should be right for a man to ask a woman, because if y'all are building that future, right? The man wants to know also, like, okay, if I do fall on hard times or something, does this person have my back? And she helped me sustain what we have going on.
Yes. And the ladies are kicking in, and they're saying they feel like it goes both ways. Like you said, if you're building something together, it's important to know. But if you're coming, Brian says you could have an 800 credit score and have no money. Mine's is 600 and I have a shitload of money.
Wow. Okay. Oh, and Pat, let me say this real quick. Let me give my disclaimer or whatever and stuff like that. Y'all, please don't get upset with me. I got brought into this to answer these questions. I do music. I'm not trying to lose no fans. I love all of y'all. I'm not trying to lose no fans. So yeah. Okay. With that being said, bring on the shenanigans.
Now, and we're gonna say don't even take their word for it. Kim is a troublemaker. Don't even take their word for it. No proof. Okay. Now, Brian made a point, and Brian, we're not saying hard fast, because keep in mind, I said some women understand they make more money than a man. That's fine. But if I'm making way more money than you, and I know I'm gonna have to carry us a lot, at least what is your credit score? So if we need access to more money, we can get that, right? So to Brian's defense, I have been in that situation before where the credit score stinks, but I had enough cash that I didn't really need to go get it. So yeah, Brian, let me hold some of that. I'm gonna come to you. You don't have to do no no, but he, I do know for sure. I talked to him, and we've talked back and forth about investment ideas and all of that stuff. And sometimes, actually, oh man, Dr. Kyrie, somebody's cookies finna burn up. She in there cooking and baking cookies, and she got, what did she say, Birdie?
I honestly don't ask that question. I really do think as you get to know someone and you guys are moving forward, you're going to talk about what you're able to do and what you're not able to do. I just try to be very honest as far as I'm concerned, but I'm definitely not that person that would ask somebody, what's your credit score? What I have said and what I do say, you consider yourself a splendor or savior or a little bit of both. Okay. Y'all heard it from the good doctor. Y'all heard it.
Way to put it. Do you consider yourself a spender or a saver or a little bit of both? Because that can tell a lot about the person. So honestly, let me go back. When we have these conversations, it's because they've come to me. And I'm older than you, Birdie, so I will say what I say, and I will say I said it. I mean, but I don't. But also, if I'm telling you somebody else said it, because I've never asked a guy, can I see his credit score? But I've had women who will not date a guy seriously until she sees his credit score. she has to, well, she does have to know how much money he makes, but she do want to see his credit score. And, I hate to say it, but sometimes they do a background check to see if there's any domestic violence or anything like that in their background.
That's so I'm gonna give an example, right? I'm gonna give an example, and this is from a personal experience, right? So you're checking credit scores, and we're talking about money. A mentor of mine, right? He used to be and I'm not gonna say his name. He used to be a police officer, right? And at the time, he was dating this person who's his wife now, right? His check was being garnished. His credit score was garbage.
Yeah.
Right. She helped him. She helped him to get through college, right? Help pay for his college or whatever. And now he has a practice where he's a therapist and a multimillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
so
tell me he left. Did he leave?
No, he didn't. No, they're together, happy to this day.
Thank God.
The point that I'm making is, right, like, even if somebody's credit score is what you don't call appropriate, right? With the right push or with the right help, you can get that person to where it is. So if y'all are really serious like that, then
it shouldn't matter, right?
It shouldn't matter. Yeah.
Well, that look, okay, I'm finna throw a little salt in this dish.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm trying to do it without throwing anybody under the bus.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me. All right, go ahead.
Oh Lord. So on the other side, in line with what Brian said, there are some people with 800 credit scores. I have seen them. They are big time spenders. They have nothing for a rainy day. So that credit, Mary said, don't be showing the cup. She's just telling you. So that credit can go away. That credit score can tank fast if that person is a spender. So I kind of like the question that Kyrie asked, are you a spender or a saver, a little bit of both? Because if you don't have some emergency funds in the bank somewhere or access to some, and your credit score tanks, you're going to be in trouble.
Right.
So you do have to have a good balance. And the only reason we're talking about the F word, finances, is because fitness came up. I'm going to talk about that next week. So some people's feelings are going to get hurt, but we're going to talk about it because, I have some very strong feelings about that. And it has nothing to do with being a gym rat or being in there or whatever. It has to do with balance, making sure you're doing the best you can do in all areas. Because you have some people that all they care about is the physicalness of what they look like. And, I don't want to say half of them, but some of them have been living in their cars, but they look good. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
And then I have a famous comedian. I love this quote. She said, a lot of these men, I'm not a man hater. I love my brothers. Sometimes I'd rather fool with my brothers than my sisters. I ain't gonna lie, because they are wishy-washy. Until women know who they are and what they want, it is almost impossible to please them. Let me say that, y'all. Be mad at me if you want to. I'm one of them. But you know how a woman will change their mind? I'm going to go back. I ain't forgot what I'm saying about the famous comedian. Because they say, girl, you was on it, and then you just jumped off to something else. I'm coming back to the famous comedian quote. I'm just giving a shout out to my brothers. Sometimes you may not like what they say, but at least they're honest in it. They're going to say it. Let them say it. That's how they feel. That's how they feel. Facts and feelings are different. If you have to go, you just give me the thumbs up and I'll take it. But I'm going to say this, Bertie. One of the comedians said, Atlanta comedian, I love her. I love Miss Shirlene. She said, these men be wondering why they can never get ahead. And it's because they married a behind. You understand what she's saying? All they married was a behind. Now, I'm not saying, y'all, I'm not being a hater. Now, ain't nothing like a sister with a nice behind. But if that's all they have when you get with them, you can't be mad that you didn't have the finance conversation or the management conversation. And don't get mad at me, sisters. I'm not saying if you shapely and you banging and all that, you ain't got no sense. I ain't saying that. It was a joke from a comedian. But the fact is, I told you, men are physical creatures, and they see things and they like what they see. And sometimes they don't care what you have. Bertie, am I wrong? Sometimes they don't care what that woman has. If that's what they want, that's what they want.
You're right.
And ain't nothing wrong with that. They say, they say, I'm gonna start some mess, and you can't even drink out your cup because you're gonna have people mad. They say it ain't tricking if you got it. So if they got it and they want something pretty to look at, they can do whatever they desire. They can marry whoever they desire. That's a true joke. So Mary said that's a true joke. And Brian said people like you said people did like the truth and reality. I think he's trying to say they don't like the truth and reality. Sometimes a truth is hard to take. I'll tell sometimes I'm talking to Angee and I'll say something or somebody else will give some advice. And I said, what is that? I always say the hardest thing to take. I mean, the easiest thing to give and the hardest thing to take is your own advice. It's easy to throw it out there, but are you really living by what you say?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm serious, Bernie. If you got to go, I know you just finished a whole show.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sis. I didn't want to leave you hanging.
I got you because you know I can carry it. I just appreciate you coming in and giving the man's perspective. So I'll be like, you heard, a man's perspective because we can't speak for everybody. But I love you. Thank you for jumping on.
Love you too. I appreciate you. Thank you for the invite. I have a verse I had to finish and I got a deadline, so I had to go write this. So
my brother, drop some verses. Okay, drop some, but don't get Kim involved in it because you know she'll get you later.
We don't pay Kim no attention. So look, everybody, y'all have a blessed night, man. Love y'all. Love you, Pat.
Love you too. All right, brother. So you guys, he just finished a whole show, but he jumped on because he knew my guest for tonight got sick. Mary said, take your cup. That girl is a hot mess. My guest that was going to be on tonight, her name is Nicole Washington. You guys go look her up. A beast when it comes to credit score. So I just thought it was cute to have somebody on who knows how to fix the ones that are challenged and help you get to the money or whatever else you need, because she's really, really good at that. But she did let me know that she was feeling under the weather. And you guys, I can understand it. I promise you, last Sunday, when y'all heard me, if you go back and look at it, I was struggling. I didn't realize it then, but the doctor was like, you have a sinus infection that's trying to get in your chest. So I'm on antibiotics, steroids, and all that. But we know the show must go on. It has to go on. And that's why I ain't gonna never say never, but that's why I probably would not ever open up a restaurant, because I don't like to cook like that. And you know, if you have a restaurant, Kyrie can tell you, if you're cooking, she does cookies. If you have a restaurant or you have any kind of business, if nobody else shows up, it's your business. You got to roll with it. So if ain't nobody on this couch or ain't nobody on the other side of this video, we're going to roll with it. We're going to have the conversations and they're going to be straight from the heart. I'm going to have to monitor and check myself because sometimes you may not know what I will say. But I'm going to say this and she'll tell you. Yeah, we'll bring her on another time. A lot of people who know me will tell you this. Now, even if I have to apologize for it later, it is what it is. If I say it, I have to own it. Now, sometimes, I'm glad Angee ain't on here. Sometimes I'll say something and she says spirit talking. I'll say something that meant something to her, but it might not have been real nice because she says she have to have thick skin to hang around me sometimes. You know, I don't know why she say that. But anyway, she'll say that it meant something to her and she's taking some action on it, right? And I'll say, who said that to you? She said, you. And I'm like, I said that? I don't think I said that. So I will own it if I remember it. How about that? And the good thing about this show, it's being recorded. So if y'all had to call me on something, I can go back and look at it and it wasn't right, it was an error, or I had too much sparkling water, I might apologize. But, and it is water, you guys. I just told you I was on antibiotics, so I can't do anything else. But I don't know about y'all. It just makes me feel better if I think water tastes better, sparkling water. I think it tastes better out of a pretty glass. It might be a girly thing. I think even when I don't feel good, if I put on some lipstick and you know, a little rouge or something, I feel better. But so we're not going to belabor this, the fitness conversation. I mean, the finance conversation. But and I'm not even going to get into the fitness conversation. But we are going to say, if you're going to connect with another human being, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. And there's some certain things that you don't want. Like, I can't deal with somebody who's a bully. I can't deal with somebody who will say things and then accuse you or blame you for the fact that they had to say them. That's cowardice. I mean, if I'm going to say something, and even if it's harsh, I'll be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did say it. Not, hey, I wouldn't have said it if you hadn't made me. First of all, can't nobody make you feel no kind of way. Can't nobody make you say nothing, and can't nobody make you do nothing. You have full control of your mouth, your body, and your mind. So stop saying a certain person makes you feel bad, or when I'm around them, they make me feel sick. Don't feel that way. You have full control over it. And if you find that you're allowing yourself, because that's what happens, to feel a certain way. Where's Tony D? Y'all go grab Tony D. Tell him to come on in here. If you start to feel a certain way around a person and you know it's not good for you, how about I say this? Just don't be around them. Now, wait a minute. If they're your kids, you might have to stay with them for a little bit. But you know what I mean? If you're hanging around somebody and their energy is wearing you out. I told this story. There was a young lady, she was younger than me, that I was hanging around when I was living in Atlanta. Brilliant. So we had decided she was going to teach me some things she knew as far as marketing. And I was going to hang around her so that she would be a kinder, gentler person, because she's known for being a beast. And when they say beast, it's not just about the money she makes. It's about her attitude. She had a stank attitude. She really did. But around me, she would tell me that I was helping her and she was trying to calm down. And so people who would see us together, literally, this is what they said to me. They say, sis, that's not a good look. That chick there is got the nastiest attitude. She always in her feelings. She this, she that. I was like, but she's not that with me. You guys, she's doing better. I mean, she's around. She's doing things. She's speaking to people. Tony D in the house.
What up? What up? What's going on?
My brothers be popping in and saving me. I'm telling you, I had a sister who got sick tonight, so she couldn't be in
Okay.
on the F word conversation. Is that Dallas? Is that Dallas you're wearing?
Yes, it's Dallas.
Oh my God, you're going to have all my San Francisco 49er fans mad at me.
I'm sorry. I am a fan, unfortunately.
Falcon fans. You're going to have everybody mad at me. But it's okay. Oh, and you know, I have friends that, well, do I still call them friends? But I have friends that are Saints fans, diehard Saints fans. You know them Saints fans.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, who is that? But and then, you know, being in Atlanta for over 20 years, I have, you know, Falcons fans, and it don't matter if you're a fan and your team is struggling and been struggling, you're a fan.
Yeah,
now,
I'm a fan. Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I mean, my real name is Dallas. So how am my name Dallas? I'm a person
right.
Falcon.
I forgot about that. How can you not? I mean, you know, now you can wear their stuff and it's your name. So even if you get mad at them, you can still wear Dallas.
I got my own merch. Like what? Really?
Right. I love it.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, I'm in Oklahoma and there is a buttload of 49ers fans. I don't know how they got here, but when I tell you they're so active, it's just fun being with them. And a lot of times I hung out with Saints fans. Yeah, people say I'm not a real fan because real fans don't mess around with nobody else's team. They don't care. Even if they have a dog that ain't in the fight, they ain't gonna be saying nothing but they colors.
See, I'm a fan of the sport and good players. You know what I'm saying? So like
That makes more sense
I
to me.
like Kansas City. I like Kansas City because I like Patrick Mahomes. I like Philly. Well, I can't say I like Philadelphia because that's a Cowboy rival. But I
Yeah,
like Jalen Hurts and I like Saquon Barkley. I like the players, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I'm not pulling for the Eagles now. I
For their
can't do
team. You're not pulling for their
that.
team,
But I'm
but you
pulling for the
appreciate
players.
the
Yeah.
talents of the players and the skills of the players. That's fair. Now I
Right.
can see that. And I had people who were mad at me. Like, how you gonna be here hanging out with them? And I'm like, first of all, y'all, until any of these teams are playing me, I'm never
Exactly. I was going to say, and
until they're paying me, I'm never gonna take it that serious.
none
So
of them jokers is giving me any cash apps, no
thank
PayPal,
you.
no checks, no nothing. So it
Thank
really
you.
don't matter.
It really don't matter.
And they don't even
So,
know who I am. So, you know.
so Todd
Yeah.
is a 49ers fan, and I got some cute 49ers stuff that he got. I'm gonna be rocking it. Just
Right.
saying. So anyway, She said, I love y'all, but can we talk about the F word?
Friends.
Good comeback.
How many of us have them? Friends.
No, Tony, actually, before you got on, we were saying the F word was finances. And at what point?
Oh,
I know.
I was like, ooh.
I know Bert said when he saw the title, he's like, oh, Lord, what she done got me into jumping on here.
Yeah. So you Pat, because I always had to ask you, okay, where are we going with this? Like, yeah.
The point is, it really gets people to talking and to checking in.
No,
and
yeah.
Finances and money's talked about in the Bible more than probably love or anything else. And then, but people don't want to have a finance talk. They don't. She said, let's talk about the F word with Tony D. So Tony D, I asked Bertie, I said, as a man, when is it appropriate for a woman to ask you about your credit score, how much money you make, or any of that? At what point in a relationship should that be had, in your opinion? And, hey, you can't speak for all the brothers, but you're a brother. So in your opinion, at what point should that be had?
I think once you see that the relationship is going to, possibly get serious, maybe like, I don't know how long serious is for you or an individual, but, if you 3, 4, 5, 6 a year in, and you feel like you've passed the dating stage and you might already had an evening where you played some sexual healing, then you might want to.
Already talked about or experienced one F word. Let's talk about the real F word that's going to take it to the next level. So, and I actually said that. Honestly, sex is easier to talk about than finance.
Yes.
I don't understand it, but it is the truth either way. Anybody got any disputes about that? When you talk about people's money or credit scores, they get real emotional.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah.
They get real emotional.
Yeah.
But you talk about, hey, when is a good time for us to lay together? That's day one. Let's have this conversation. Are you gonna make me wait till we get married? Or you make me wait till after 90 days? Or you gonna make me, but you ain't gonna ask me about no credit score in 90 days or in 2 weeks or on the first date. You ain't gonna ask me about no money in the bank.
So let me ask you. So suppose, because I know you had mentioned this last week when we talked. Suppose somebody has what some people would say a subpar credit score because of situations. It was a situational thing. You know what I'm saying? So they're working trying to repair the credit score. Maybe it was a divorce and the spouse may have messed up the credit, or or you lost your job and you couldn't pay the bills. Is a woman going to take the time to listen to the story to see why my credit score is 560, or you just going to be like, no, I ain't got no time for you. You broke and blah 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 blah.
But that's not really true that you're broke, because Brian just said, and I know he ain't lying, he ain't exaggerating. Brian just said, my credit score is 600, but I got a shitload of money. Oh, can I say the S word on here?
You done said it already.
Oh. Statement, I think word for word. I think I was reading that. I just got caught up in reading his statement.
Hey, it's Pat Nash show. You do what you want.
She over here talking and saying too much before she even think about it. But I think that's what he said. And the point, or buttload, I don't know what he said. But I know that I know him. I know this brother personally. So I know he's a wise businessman. So you can't equate financial responsibility all the time with a credit score. But I still say what I said. There are women, and I'm not saying me, so the brother can't attack me again. There are women that don't date men unless they know their credit score, because that's important to them. I can't change that. I have friends that say, no, if I'm going to spend some time with you, especially at a certain age, I got to know where you are, or it's not even worth me spending time with, especially if I know it's important to me, right? So I had somebody on the flip side, a brother saying, I take care of myself. And to me, health is better than wealth, because if you sick, you can, if you sick, you can't buy your health back. So you've got to figure out how to take care of yourself. And so if I am into that and a woman I'm interested in is not into that, I can't date her, because first of all, if she's not taking care of herself, she can die. She can pull a strain on her whole life because she's not taking care of herself. Now, I advocate that, but I advocate balance too, because I really believe sometimes you could be what is called a gym rat, and to the point where you may not be taking care of business all the way. And I'm not saying it's either or. I'm not. There's people who have that thing balanced out. It's important to you. You know how important it is, and you have that thing balanced out. But you do have people on both sides of finances and fitness that are out of balance.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I think both should be balanced. I think, and I don't, women can have their own stipulations on getting to the next level with a guy, but I don't think it should always be credit score. I think because you never know what situations allow them to be in that place, credit wise. And I'm like the gentleman, he's got money, he handles his business, he may not have the best credit score. um you know, I'm not going to say what I was going to say because the women will beat me up. But
no, please. You know what?
Sometimes I think things are sometimes. Well, I'm not, because I don't know. I understand being financially secure and women want to feel kept and stuff like that. So I get it.
Yeah.
But what about the situation where if the woman makes $250,000 a year and the guy makes $98,000 a year?
A lot of women who care about credit scores feel better about that if they have a good score, because like I said, now if you got a good score, we can go get some more cash. We can use my income as a base and your score and put them together, and we can go to the bank and get some money. I can tell you some people who can do that. But if you don't have the money and you not have been taking care of business, or you know what I'm saying, or stuff happens, it's a harder road for those females and for a lot of women, and they want to feel secure in the fact that if something goes bad, if I have yeah, it is, Mary, it's very possible to have that, very possible, because you have money. And I'm gonna give you a real practical thing about, she says, is it possible to have a 600 credit score and have money? Absolutely. Because a lot of times what happened when you go get a loan somewhere and you got a lot of money in the bank and you make a loan against it, and if they pull a credit, it's going to take your credit score down. And if they do it more than once, especially if you're buying a new vehicle or something, it's going to tank. Now, it might go back up, but it's going to tank. So yes, that credit score can be very volatile. It could go up and down, up and down. And it doesn't necessarily, I agree with the guys, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're financially irresponsible, because things happen. And there's a very fine balance that you have to keep up with it. But let's go back to the flip side. And we're going to talk about it some more. I don't want to get into it too deep. But is it fair for a man to say he won't date a woman who is out of shape? Because we're talking about personal preferences now.
Is it fair? I think if that's his preference, then it's fair. Because if some would say it's not fair for you to ask me about my credit score. So if he is a person who stays healthy and fit, he doesn't want to be with somebody who's wobbling and rolling, and breathing heavy when they step up on the sidewalk. I mean, I mean, it is what it is. I have to say this, and this might be superficial, but it's just what it is.
No, be honest, please.
Most of the times when a guy goes someplace, especially if he's going out in public to different events, he wants to walk with a dime piece on him, right? So,
I can't wait to get into that subject.
And so, but the ladies do too. The ladies want to have somebody who's debonair. They don't want to have somebody, who's
just a slouch or a slob.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They want to have somebody that smells good. They don't want to have nobody that's a little tart. So, you got to have a good representation. But some ladies like big guys. Some men like big women. It just depends on your preference. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm with
whatever
you.
makes you happy.
I'm with you. I absolutely think it's a personal preference. And so for a man to say that's important to them. But now I'm going to give you the other side. You ready for this? Do you think it's fair for a brother who is not in shape to demand that from his woman?
No.
Again, yeah, it's not fair. Now they do it, but it's not fair to me
Nah, it ain't.
For you to want this woman to look a certain way that you don't even have the discipline to look.
Nah, he need to go on somewhere. Sit down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, ladies, y'all could be mad at me. But I think it's wrong for you to expect this man to have everything together and your stuff stinks.
Right.
I don't think that's right. Because I think if you're going to be yoked or equally yoked, expect what you have. You know, if you have that together, you may be okay with expecting that. To me, I'm not talking for everybody. To me, it's unfair. It's unfair for you to want that. Now, if you have the money and the means and you don't mind taking care of somebody, because men are visual creatures, they want their women to look appealing. And it feels good to them and prideful. I've had this conversation with ladies. It feels good for them and prideful for them to have their woman on their arm. And they know they not only like the way she looks, but everybody else does.
Yeah.
Am
It's
I
like when you get that car you like. You know what I'm saying? You want to look out and see that's my ride, and then everybody's, oh, that's dope. You know, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Not
you
saying
know,
I'm in this car, but I'm gonna
yeah,
say
I'm not R. Kelly. You remind me of my G. I'm not trying to do that, but I'm just
but
saying it's the same.
I've heard women say that though. I want my man to love me like he loved that car. He out there rubbing on that and doing that.
Well, yeah,
So it's pride.
I used to be that dude, boy. My car was always, boy, I used to get
Yes.
mad. And every time I clean my car, the bird would, I mean, like, are y'all
I
just
think the
waiting to
Lord was trying to tell you something. It's like, okay, this vanity
every
is
time I
ridiculous.
come out in the plot. But yeah, but I think whatever your preference is, you should be proud in that preference, whether it be, you know, I was told, Tony D, I'm too skinny. You know what I'm saying? You too little. You know what I'm saying? So hey, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And Todd said you can't ask someone to be what you're not willing to be or already are. I mean, at least we're on that thing together because I have actually seen it. I'm telling you with my own two eyes. I've seen the brother that got at least 5 gallons in the front. And then he's checking the woman because she ain't washboard abs or she ain't flat stomach or she ain't katow. And then he ain't even, it ain't like, I was going to say like, it ain't like he got money or anything like that. So
right.
I think it's fair to ask for what you want and to be that.
Yeah.
That's me. So when I say it's not fair, it's not good to be unequally yoked. A lot of times that don't have anything to do with religion, or it may have that, but the unequally yoked could be anything. Somebody
But
who's lazy and somebody who's not. So you have to drag this person around. It's going to make it a little harder for you to move through life dragging somebody.
yeah, that's
You know what I'm
but
saying?
yeah, but let's go back to to religion, right?
That's mhm.
So how do you know if you heavy in the church, you saved, you developing your relationship, you know
You
you
don't want me to answer that. I'm
you know what I'm
divorced from
saying,
2
and
sisters.
you
You do
know,
not want me to answer that. You do not.
and then you know, do you want somebody who's not that way?
At
Um,
this point, maybe. I mean, I was married to ministry, to
mhm,
ministers in ministry.
mhm,
And a lot of times it's the hurting people who are in the church. It's the people who need a savior or need God that are in there. So a
mhm.
lot of times you get, I'm not going to say more imperfect people. I'm not going to say that. The church doesn't change you. You and your relationship changes you. So
Oh,
I am not a religious person in that you got to be in a building mixed with a group of people in order for you to be
okay. So
human.
let me change what I'm saying, because I'm not into the, I understand what you're saying, but if
Mhm,
you're striving to develop a heavy close relationship
mhm,
with our Savior, and you're really looking to develop in that portion,
mhm.
and you know, would you, and but the dude is fly. He got a 790 credit score. He his bank account is right. His crib is dope. He got the, as you could say, he ain't got the he got the washboard abs. He rolling, you know what I'm saying? He packing in every area. You know what I'm saying? Like you said last week, right? But you know, he ain't his relationship is like, yo, you know, how, what do you do? It's the same to me. It's the same as the credit score. As a matter of fact, that's more important. You know what I'm saying? So what do you do in that case? Do you kick him to the curb,
Are you asking me? Are you asking?
I'm just throwing it out to everybody. I know we only got 9 minutes, but I'm just throwing that out.
Okay, y'all. Somebody said reclamation projects are for your 20s and 30s. Oh yeah, Todd is like trying to fix somebody up. That's for your 20s and 30s. When you get a certain age, you ain't trying to fix nothing up. And it does have a lot to do with your maturity level too, Tony. It does. It has a lot to do with your maturity level and where you are spiritually in your own life and your lessons that you've learned. Like, I'm not into getting with somebody. I'm not into, what do they call it back in missionary dating? I'm not into that. I don't want anybody to change. If I'm connected to you and you and I are vibing, it's already a strong enough spiritual connection. And I'm not trying to, you can't change me. I believe what I believe. I am a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. I know who I was before he came into my life, and I know who I am now. And so when you know that, all I'm saying to you, if this person does not go to church, if this person does not stand on the corner and preach the word, if this person does not know his Bible from Genesis to Revelation, and he doesn't act and behave the way I do in a church setting, that has nothing to do with my relationship with him.
I don't mean it. I don't. Let's get out the
And
church.
my striving has nothing to do with him. You are an individual. Yes, when you come with someone, you are coming together, but you're an individual. And what I love, what is so beautiful about the Christian faith, it is a personal walk. It is not up to your neighbor, your cousin, not even your mom and your daddy. It is up to you. That is why you develop that personal relationship.
But there may be times, and I'm just throwing it out there. There
No,
may
I
be
want
times,
you.
and let's get out to church now. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
let's
in the Sunday
yes.
going to the, and singing and ushering. No, I ain't talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about personal relationship, and I know everybody develops on their own because we are still developing, right? But I'm saying if you're at a certain level in God, but you meet this guy or meet this lady, and you vibing and everything is good, but you're not. Are you willing to be a light and help them, pray with them, direct them as the stronger person in Christ? Or you're gonna be like, well, nah, I can't. I can't roll because it's gonna be too much for me to pull. And you in. I know you might be. I know you might be looking at me crooked, but I've heard people say this. I've
No.
heard people be like, nah, it took me too long to get where I am, and I'm not gonna go. That's gonna be a stumble. That's gonna be a hindrance. I need somebody that we can lock in together and pray together. Blah, you know what I'm saying? So,
But I think
for some people, that's a rap.
but
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna take you to the scripture. If it is sin for you, it is sin.
Right.
Because some people have a whole lot better tolerance for things. Like, some people can't be in the presence of somebody drinking alcohol. It takes them into it, and they know they have a problem or they've had an addiction with alcohol. They don't want it anymore, and they don't want to be around people who are drinking. It doesn't bother me. So what is sin for them is sin for them. So they should not do it if they know it's going to take them there. So we're going to go right back to the other conversation. It is a personal walk and it is a personal decision. I don't think anybody should be on the outside looking at your relationship and say, this person ain't as strong as that person. They're unequally yoked. Why are they doing that? That is none of your business. First of all, Junior Holy Spirit, that is none of your business. If these two decide to come together and do whatever they do, that is on them.
But what about not talking about the outside? I'm talking about somebody might be watching this right now. Somebody might be watching this right now, and they may be they possibly may be I like old girl but I know where I am. She's not where I am. What do I do?
How do you know she's not where you are? No, okay, now let me say this. Let me say this for people who are watching. You know how they say, I don't know who this is for. You've got to start listening to, people call it gut. But if you think about it, I'm going to go into like a little spiritual thing. Some people will get this, some people won't. Some people who believe in the power of the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues, and they say out of your belly will come what?
Tongues.
Out of your belly will come rivers of living water, tongues, whatever, out of your belly. So when you hear gut feeling, that is more than a gut feeling.
No, that's the Holy Spirit. Yeah.
You start listening to your own gut And stop listening to what Sally Sue and let me not say Sally Sue. Stop listening to what Jim Bob and Carol Ann are saying to you. And you have your own personal walk. You decide. Now you can put that on you. This is my choice. Can't nobody make you feel away. Can't nobody make you do anything. It is your choice. Now, if it is wrong for you because of where you are, then don't align yourself. But if it is not taking you, yes, Junior Holy Spirit, you got a lot of people who feel like they're Junior Holy Spirit. The Lord told me to tell you. No, he didn't, because he going to tell me first. He don't operate like that. He going to tell me first, and then he going to have you come and confirm it. So that is for somebody who is mature. I've been there. I'm just telling you. Look, I'm not going to call myself a first lady. I think the only people who really, who has that title is Ivana right now. Ooh, Lord help us, Jesus. But
she ain't my first lady.
Hey, I'm just saying. I know that's
Michelle
the title.
Obama. No.
I know that is the title that is given to pastors' wives. But being a wife of a minister for almost 30 years, there are still people. You guys, people are still people. And you have people who love God and who love people and serve really, really hard. And guess what? If they go to the bathroom, their stuff stinks like yours. We're all just
3 minutes back.
We're all just humans. Okay. So with that being said, stop judging people. You can't look. That's why the Spirit says, let them grow up together, because you can't tell. I'll separate them. So how you going to say they're not where I'm at? You don't know what God is doing. And so each individual person, whoever this is for, listen to your gut and know that that is right for you and roll with it. And then you and God work that thing out. And it is what it is. And I know we got to wrap up. Dang, Tony D, every time we get on here, people be like, y'all need to get back on there. Because
the doors of the church are open. If there should be one
that has
heard the word from the
woman
woman
of God. At the bottom, because we're taking all offerings.
The woman of God has spoken.
Stop it. But thank you for jumping in here. And it's always good that you are real. I mean, people need real talk. We need to talk about things that are hard for people.
I hear a whole bunch of stuff. People be telling me a whole bunch of stuff. So that is actually something that somebody shared with me some time ago, and I was like, oh, what about this? Because that's real talk for some people.
Yes. Substance over religiosity any day. And that is what Lonzine is saying. That's my sister. So with that being said, you guys, I know we got to chime out of here for Angee kill us. So thank you, Tony D. It is always like, dang, we got to get back in this. So will you come back if we offer you, be like, bribe you, come back, jump
sure.
on?
Just give me a couple of ribs.
I got you. So with that, that could be, what kind of rib? Never mind. With that being said, we wish you love and light, peace and blessings always. This has been Pat Nash Talks with Tony D, Brother Birdie that just jumped off, and we'll be back next Sunday. I'll be calling y'all.
Not next Sunday, it's holiday.
Well, it will be a show showing. It might be a rerun.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, we love you all, and good night.
Bye-bye.
And let's have a moment of clarity. There's freedom in your transparency. When you speak, you release, that's therapy. It's my decision to listen and do it carefully. Wanna live carefree? Well, it's gonna start. When secrets are kept, families are torn apart. I wanna do my part to help heal your heart. Shed some light on your life when your days are dark. Help ignite a spark that'll bring change. Be your shelter from the rain, assist with the pain.
boy Tony G on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.